searching for this all my life. You're just my type. I've been looking for a boy who can treat me right. Short dark hair with those eyes so bright.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Scheananigans. I am so excited for today's episode for a few reasons. One, I am straight back and off a plane from New York. I am absolutely exhausted. I had so much fun, and I'm like, I am so thankful that I have my girl right here next to me, the Vanderpump Rules resident astrologer in the house. Hopefully here to help forecast my future and maybe shed some light on some of our crew. So please welcome my beautiful and very talented friend, Ally Lewber. How we doing?
Thanks, Scheana. That was so sweet.
I'm so excited you're finally here.
I'm so excited too, finally here.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I can just like have a fun chat with my girlfriend today. I don't have to have my brain completely on.
No, you don't.
I've got my notes. We're good. It was a night where, you know, when you have a really early flight and it's like, may as well just stay up and sleep on the plane.
Up. Yep.
So we went out. There was live band karaoke.
Oh, that's so fun.
And I was so mad. We were taking so long to figure out what song. And then they were like, this is the last song. So we didn't even get to do karaoke.
You didn't even get to do it? No.
I know.
That's sad when that happens.
Yeah. But then we went to a tiki bar. Then we went here. And it was a whole night. So
I love that for you. That's so fun.
Yeah.
That's like what James does when he travels. He literally finishes at like 2 a.m. and then his flights are at like 5 or 6. So he just gets back and posts his content.
Totally.
And then goes.
I know. I was like,
how you guys do that.
I'm just going to sleep on the plane.
Yeah.
And then you guys are going to New York next week.
Yes. Monday.
So fun.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. It was so much fun. It goes by so quickly. I was like, we're done.
See, Ariana's not playing when we're there. So I'm like really bummed.
Oh, she's dark on Wednesdays.
Tuesday is the only day we could do, but he has Watch What Happens Live.
Yeah, so that's the same time.
I'm going to have to go back at some point.
Well, I want to go back too.
Okay,
because
good.
I didn't get to go back and see it again this trip, but I'm like, there's no way I'm only seeing her first show and not seeing it again. So
I had such FOMO.
We'll definitely plan another one.
See it. Okay,
it's
good.
So good.
Oh gosh,
I can't get over it. And apparently Dan said it's gotten even better. And I'm like,
oh, I bet it gets better.
But I'm like, I don't believe that, Dan.
Like,
it couldn't have gotten any better. It was so good.
That's amazing.
And, so we'll definitely have to go back.
We've always said that too. We're like, we need to go see a musical together.
Yes,
and now
I know.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. So we'll make it happen.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I know you're going for Watch What Happens Live. James is doing. That'll be a fun episode. We have the DJs from Emo Night.
Oh, that's right.
TJ and Morgan are going to be bartending. We had the 27th bartend last night.
Yes, I saw.
So fun. I just have to say, because I kind of stayed out of the comment section, but I saw some comments about the game that we played. Now, yes. I just want to say that when I was briefed before the show, they told me I was going to play a game where I put on the goggles and Ryan has to describe a person to me from Bravo specifically.
Right.
So then when they go, oh, okay, we're going to pop up some pictures. And I'm like, where are my goggles?
Right.
And they don't give me the goggles. So I was like, oh, I guess they're just going to let me see what the person looks like. But I was told these are all Bravo people.
Right.
And so they're like, do you think Scheana knows who this is? And I was like, I wasn't even thinking it was someone outside of Bravo.
Right. You're like, that's not the first lady. What housewife franchise
I was like,
is that?
Is that someone's mom on Southern Charm? Like, I was just like, no, I don't watch a ton of shows on Bravo.
That's where your brain was. Yes. And you're like, well, I'm not, like, that's not right.
And I was like, where are the goggles? You guys told me I was playing. And then I still did that game, but I was like, no one briefed me on this game. So I'm just thinking this is someone from another Bravo show.
They should have said the first part is CNN and then the second part is Bravo.
So I was so thrown off, but then at least I got
a few. It was funny. I was cracking up.
Yeah. So anyways, good times. But we are now 2 episodes into season 11. How are you feeling about everything?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling fine. A lot better than last season. Definitely not as anxious. And I mean, just picking up the pieces, I feel like. But I'm excited to like get into it. I'm excited to watch Tahoe.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Hippie to enter. Like, so there's moments that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. I'm nervous to watch Tahoe.
Yeah.
It's a rough one.
Yeah.
So what was going through your head just the first couple episodes? Like, were you nervous at all? Have you felt relieved? Are you anxious about what's to come, or Just kind of excited.
I guess the first couple episodes, I feel like most of my, like you get a little anxious before you watch because like, what do I do? What do I say?
Right.
But then watching it, I was like, oh, okay, it's fine. Yeah. I don't know. It's mostly rough just watching Tom Sandoval and like seeing what he says in his interviews and like his side. And like, I was obviously in the car when James and Tom had their talk, but then like watching it back, I was just like, oh, okay, that was shitty of him to like really go there and to bring that up.
Yeah. I think they asked me about that last night. But yeah, and then
they
Bush.
did. Yeah,
You're like, it's Ariana's Bush too. So I have to ask you, because I know this isn't your first time doing reality TV. And now that it's been announced, there's a show called The Valley. I'm like, interesting name. I think my friend Ally was on a show called The Valley back in the day. What were you, like 18?
18 and 19. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So after that experience, did you think you would ever do reality TV again?
No, 100% no. I was like boring and too nice. And it was a cool experience. It was in my small town. It wasn't anything compared to Vanderpump. Like I wouldn't even compare them at all.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was reality. And it just followed like 6 of us after high school, going into college. And like, it was a really cool experience. It was my first like real job. Like I made money. So that was nice. And it was fun. But yeah, after that, I was like, well, that was cool. I don't think reality TV is for me.
And here we are.
So kind of crazy. Yeah. And then the fact that that's called The Valley.
Right.
It's so weird.
I know.
Like,
it's so funny.
I know.
So how did that show come about? Like who reached out to you? Did you have to audition? Was there a casting?
Ooh, I'm trying to remember. There was a casting. My mom, I remember being in the car with my mom, and I was a performer at the time. So like with music, I would play out and sing and stuff. And my mom like told me about this show, and she was like, I'm going to just like drive you to the audition. Just do it. And I was kind of like, what? No, Mom, like that's so embarrassing. I don't want to do a reality show. Like what? And I think I was just shy and like nervous. But I went to the casting and there were like a ton of people. And I was just like, okay, well, like I'm not going to get this, but like we'll try. They're like, do you have any skeletons in your closet? And I'm like, no, nope. So I don't know really why I even got cast on that show, but it was really fun. And I became really good friends with the people. And more importantly, I became really good friends with like the producers on the show, because then when I went back to college and studied entertainment journalism, when I would go back to Dayton for the summers, I worked at the news station that produced the show. And so I was like a PA, and I just stayed in like good graces with all of them, which was nice. So cool experience. But
I know why they picked you, because you're beautiful and you're talented. You have a great personality. So there's a million reasons.
Thank you, Scheana. I love you.
I love you too. Do you keep in touch with any of your former cast members?
Some of them, a few, just in touch in a way. Like if they're in LA, like they'll reach out and we'll like hang out. But not too much.
Have they said anything about you being on Vanderpump Rules?
No. Now that I think about it, maybe one. Yeah, my friend Noelle, I think that we've talked and like she thinks it's funny, but no one else.
Yeah.
My producer Jason thinks it's hilarious, so he loves it.
So funny.
Yeah.
Do you think doing that show kind of helped you just like get set up to do another one? You're like, okay, this isn't my first rodeo. You know, I've done this before.
Not really, honest. I feel
so
like
different.
It's just so different. And I, if anything, I feel like I was like laughing, like, okay, universe, like putting me in this situation again. All right. Yeah, very different. Very different.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the universe, Valentine's Day is next week. And since you are my astrologer, I wanted to give you 2 signs.
Okay.
And you tell me how good of a match you think this pairing would make.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you who the couples are.
Okay.
I just want you to.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
Okay. So if there were a Virgo and a Cancer, what's their compatibility?
Okay. They're both very nurturing and very caring. And that can sometimes be really great. And then sometimes that can become a little like hard because they're both almost competing to be the nurturer or to like do things their way, especially Virgos. But I'll be honestly, compatibility is so interesting because I've seen people's charts who you would say have awful compatibility and they're like still together and thriving. And then I've seen the opposite where people should have great compatibility, and they didn't work. So honestly, in astrology, like I like to use it as a tool more and be like, okay, where are our tough spots that we can like learn from and learn to work together? Because, you know, I honestly think every sign's compatible. At the end of the day, it's just about like overcoming the obstacles. But okay, keep going though.
That one was Ken and Lisa.
Oh, shit.
No, I think that was pretty
Wait,
good.
that's so funny. He's a Cancer?
Uh-huh.
Because Lisa's a Virgo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What
I like
about-
that she's the Virgo because that does make it more like it's her empire. Like, well, it's his too, but you know what I mean? Like she's the boss and he's like, yeah. Okay, cool. Oh God.
What about a Capricorn and a Libra?
Okay. Yeah. Tricky. I mean, I'm a Capricorn sun and a Libra moon, and and so I could say it's definitely doable. We're talking about Katie and Shorts, right? Yeah, definitely doable. However, it can be, again, it's that like power shift, that kind of power struggle a little bit. Libras are a little more go with the flow and like, okay, where Capricorns are like a little more say what you mean, and so that can cause a little bit of communication issues for sure.
What about an Aquarius and a Cancer?
Oof. Don't love it. But again, it can work. It can work.
Kristen and Sandoval, Jackson Brittany.
Shit, that's so funny. Yeah, you know, Cancer is it just in general. My ex was a Cancer too.
Yeah,
I'm not a big fan of Cancer men. Like, just kidding. Not all of you. But like, yeah, it's...
Yeah. What about a Cancer and a Cancer?
You know what? I actually like that. I like that.
Interesting.
You get each other. But then again, it's like probably a lot of like, there needs to be work. There needs to be communication in the middle of all of that. But who's that?
Tom and Ariana, Jackson Stassi.
Okay. Damn.
Didn't work for either of them.
So, right. So, Virgo and Cancer is basically the winners here.
Yep.
That we're looking at. Okay, perfect.
How about Taurus and Gemini?
Love. Be together forever.
Yes.
Perfect couple. No, but really, but also, see, there's just so much more to the chart because you have a Gemini rising. And so the fact that Brock is a Gemini and you're a Gemini rising, like you guys get each other. He sees you. He supports you.
Yeah.
And then I forget what his rising is.
He doesn't know because he doesn't know the exact time
because his mom's
born.
like, which kid were you?
Right? She's like, it was sometime in the morning. I remember your dad was able to make it to work on time.
Yeah. That's so funny.
So we don't know exactly.
But that's good.
What about a Virgo and an Aries?
Oof. Yeah, tricky. I honestly like just wish I could see the whole chart because I like to look at Venus and the moon sign for compatibility anyway. But you know, Virgos are perfectionists and Aries, they like to get shit done. They're very like on to the next thing. They get things done quickly. Virgo, I think of them as the same way. So I could see it working, but ultimately I could also see it being a little bit of like outrunning that. It's just like a lot of energy and no, I'm right. Okay,
Lala and Randall.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Capricorn and Aquarius.
Love.
You're like,
honestly
that's
though, like that. See, if I like wasn't obviously James and me, I'd be like, that's a little tricky of one too, just because Capricorns are so set in their ways and Aquarius is so like free for all and just like a more free spirited and like I don't know. But I have a lot of Aquarius in my chart, and James has a lot of Capricorn in his chart. So like,
interesting.
It's a balance.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about Virgo and Aquarius?
I like that. Yeah, I think I like that. But also same thing. Virgo with the earth sign and the earth energy and the perfection and like wanting things done a certain way. And then the Aquarius is like, that's never, you can't put me in a box. So kind of same.
Yeah.
Same thing there.
It was Raquel.
Oh, fuck, right.
Aquarius and Aquarius.
This is so fun. How have we never done this before?
I know, right?
What the heck? Okay, who?
Aquarius and Aquarius.
Aquarius and Aquarius. Ooh, okay, who is? You know, could work if everything else is there. But ultimately, it's out of control. It's a little bit too like, I'm going to do what I want to do. You're going to do what you want to do. And there might be like control issues there. But it could work if they were really on the same page with things. That could actually be a cool couple. That's Kristen and James.
Yep. Okay, last one. Cancer and Libra.
Cancer and Libra. Aw, that's just like a sweet little pair. They're just like, I just imagine them like at home, like watching movies, lighting a candle. Yeah, I like that. There might have to be some communication work again, and like, you know, but ultimately I feel like that's a sweet pairing.
So Tom and Tom are a perfect match.
Literally, oh my God. Right. They really are. And he's a Cancer. Tom Schwartz is a Cancer rising. So same thing with what I was saying about you and Brock and how his Gemini sees you. Sandoval, I guess, gets him. He gets him. They're the most compatible out of all of us.
Right? Oh my gosh, so funny. Well, I do have more questions about astrology, and I want to get into a little bit of my birth chart if you can.
Of course.
We're just going to take a quick little break, and we'll be right back.
A new year brings new goals, but what about your skincare goals? Let me tell you, it's not too late to start. Small, easy changes in your routine can have amazing results, and your secret weapon should be Dime Beauty. Dime Beauty is clean. It's a high-end skincare line that is affordable, and it really works. Dime didn't sacrifice performance just to make it clean either. And here's the thing. When I say clean, I mean that Dime is 100% transparent about every single ingredient. So you can use their products daily with confidence. I don't have time to remember the order of a 10-step routine. I mean, no one has time for that, but you put my busy schedule on top of being the mother of a toddler. And yeah, I don't have time for that. So when I switched to Dime, I decided to start with the work system. This was recommended to me because it's everything you need in one powerful package. So in this, it includes a gentle cleanser, a toner, 2 incredible serums, and 2 luxurious moisturizers. It is everything you need in one package. And if you know me, you know that I love anything with sunscreen. Anything SPF I can put on my face to protect my skin, sign me up. Their Tinted Glow Wonder Screen with SPF 30, it just came out in new shades. And let me tell you, it is amazing. Dime has over 2 million happy customers, and their product reviews are literally all 5 stars. If you haven't checked out Dime, where have you been? Love your skin again. Go to dimebeautyco.com now and unlock 20% off when you use code GOODASGOLD. That's dimebeautyco.com. Use GOODASGOLD for 20% off. You're going to love this stuff. This episode is supported by FX's feud, Capote versus the Swans. Inspired by actual events, the series tells the story of writer Truman Capote and the women he betrayed. The original housewives, they were society's most elite women, rich, glamorous socialites who defined a bygone era of high society New York. From creator Ryan Murphy, this drama series features an all-star cast, including Naomi Watts, Demi Moore, Diane Lane, Molly Ringwald, Callista Flockhart, Chloe Sevigny, and Tom Hollander as Truman Capote. FX's feud, all new Wednesdays on FX, stream on Hulu. Okay, so I have to ask for all of the listeners who don't know, because I feel like we're just now getting to see this on the show, and I know we're going to have so much more this season coming up, but how did you get into astrology, and where did that interest and curiosity stem from?
I always was interested in it. You know, like I would get the Cosmo magazine and read the horoscope section on the back of the bus or at the pool or whatever. But I got deep into astrology in college, and then I actually started studying it during COVID.
Okay.
So that was when I went like full in obsessed, like couldn't stop. My mind is just always thinking astrologically. So yeah.
How do you get to that level of confidence to now just do readings for complete strangers?
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good question. I honestly like just do it because I was nervous at the beginning because I had done reading so much for family and friends. And like I knew that I trusted myself doing it. But doing it for strangers is different. And you never know what kind of like who you're getting. If it's someone who's like, especially in this world, like someone who's just trying to like suss you out or like, you know, or if they're like a not believer. So I was nervous at first, but I think that each reading I do, I just, one, I fall in love with astrology even more because it blows my mind. And then 2, it's just like, I get better. And it's just like practice makes perfect. So just do it.
Do you have any crazy stories from a reading that you've done that you could share?
Ooh.
Like, has something come up in someone's chart and you're like, whoa.
Okay. I'm trying to think of something, but this actually happened last week, and I was doing a reading and she had a lot happening in her 5th house. And I was like, ooh, like, you're trying to get pregnant right now, like this is a great time. And if you're not like birth control, but like you're very fertile. She's like, Ally, I'm literally giving birth tomorrow.
Oh my gosh.
It was crazy. I was like, shut up. Are you okay? She was like, I mean, I'm having contractions right now, but I'm fine. And I was like, should you be here?
She's like, I didn't want to miss my
gosh.
appointment.
That was very, very wild. So
Wait,
was
that's
cool.
crazy.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I know we got to see you map out Schwartz's birth chart on this week's episode. Were there any surprising things you learned about him through that process, aside from him not liking being labeled a people pleaser?
I know. I felt bad for that one because I know I call myself that too because the Libra placements.
Yeah.
But it is just, it's not that you want to please people, but you genuinely like want people to get along. Like it's that peacekeeper in him. But so the one thing that surprised me about his chart, not really surprised, but validated, was he has his North Node in the 1st house. And basically the North Node is like your destiny point or your purpose point. And the 1st house is all about you, like yourself and believing in yourself and your dreams and your, like, it's you. And so that was interesting because I was like, yeah, in this lifetime, you're literally meant to master you and like learn how to trust you and like speak up for yourself and trust your own gut and ideas. And so that was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's doing more of that now.
Yeah.
You know, I loved that he ended up doing Winter House by himself.
Right.
Because he's always in Tom's shadow.
Right.
And it's like James said, I think it was in the first episode, he's like, you're the best Tom when you're just Tom Schwartz. You're not Tom.
Yeah.
And I feel like hopefully with him, you know,
Yeah.
kind of being forced to do some things on his own over this past year, it's given him the confidence to do more
So
things on his
true.
own and believe in himself.
Yeah. So true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I told him about that and he was like, that makes sense. And I'm like, I'll keep reminding you.
Yeah.
North Node in the 1st house.
Okay, so tell me about mine, because I know we've done this once before, but it was a group thing. So what interesting things can you share about my chart?
Okay, so you're a Sag moon, Gemini rising, Taurus sun, all in the 12th house, which I am obsessed with that in your chart. I can get to that. But I think the really cool thing is that your moon is in your 7th house of relationships and marriage and intimacy. And the moon is the emotional planet. That's the planet that rules our mental health. So it's very important. And it's what we need. It's a non-negotiable. So when the moon is in the 7th house, we have someone who really needs to feel secure in a relationship. And someone, you know, not saying that you're not independent. It's just saying that you want that balance and that support. But it's also a Sagittarius, which is really cool because that represents foreign travels. And so when Sagittarius is in the 7th house, we usually see someone who marries someone from a different country.
No way.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy? So that was interesting. And then you also have Jupiter in your 9th house. Jupiter represents foreign travel, higher education, philosophy, astrology. And the 9th house is the house of foreign travel. And so usually when I see that placement, there is a strong indication of someone who lives abroad or travels a lot overseas. There's a lot of opportunities for you abroad. And there always will be. So like, I don't know. That's cool.
That's so crazy.
Leave us and go live in Italy or Australia one day.
No, literally,
But
my psychic, Grace, she does tarot cards for me.
Oh, so
and there are things that she told me a couple months ago that have already come true.
What'd she say?
One of the things I'll tell you after.
Okay.
Because we're not going there just yet.
Yep. Okay.
But one of the things that she told me was she sees me splitting a lot of my time between here and Sydney and eventually maybe having a place in Sydney and working a lot in Australia.
Yep.
And I was like, I mean, I would love that. I would love to go and tour with the band in Australia, but I would also love to do stuff with Brock and work or film another show, have just, you know, a little YouTube series or something.
Totally.
So I was like, she has been right
That's
about
crazy.
everything, things that she's predicted. I found out I was pregnant the first time through a reading with her.
I remember Courtney telling me that. See, that's what blows my mind because astrology, and I've had this happen where clients will be like, oh, my psychic said the same thing. And I'm like, that blows
Am I
my mind.
psychic?
I have to look. No, I have to like read the chart.
Yeah.
But like psychics somehow just pick up that energy and that blows my mind. That's so cool. But yeah, for sure for you. And also moon in the 7th house is a strong indicator of going into business with your partner. There's a lot of emotional support there, but it's forever. So it's the idea of like, once you find your puzzle piece, it's like, okay, this feels great, but now let's do stuff. Let's build things together and let's create a life, a family, a job, business, stuff like that.
I love that.
And then your sun is in the 12th house, which I just find really interesting. And I think people would be kind of shocked by that because the 12th house is the house of like being hidden or behind the scenes. It's very spiritual, and it is the house of foreign travel as well, in a way where it's about getting out of your mind and being very spiritual, like Buddhist monk, think that.
Okay.
But also healers. And so I think that's totally like your empathy and your love for people and everyone. Like that's just the sun in the 12th house. You shine. That's the sun. So that's where you feel confident and you feel your best when you're in a state of peace and when everyone's getting along. But also, it's just funny because you're very comfortable being seen and being on a stage. And this is an actual placement that's very common with celebrities, actually, but you wouldn't really think that because the sun in the 12th is hidden. But it's actually your private life is just very important to you. And that comes first. And then the other stuff just happens naturally. Like you don't have to really worry about that. That's almost so easy.
Yeah.
That's like, that's taken care of. But then you're doing a lot of work on yourself and your mental health and your private life. But that's where you shine. That's where you feel your happiest and your best.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thanks. That's so cool. I love how you do this. And I love that you now have the platform where you can do this for so many other people because like you are so talented, not just with your music, but with your astrology. And honestly, you're the best and most amazing breath of fresh air that we've ever had in this group.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, season 10, it's been really amazing just getting to know you and becoming so close with you because you are an incredible human.
Thank you. I'm blushing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Scheana. I love you.
I love you.
You guys have all been amazing also. I was so scared last year. Now I'm like,
yeah.
What? I love them. They're awesome.
Okay, so
Especially you. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I do want to talk a little bit about last year because you were like the Vanderpump Rules whistleblower. You were the first one to catch on to Scandoval and Raquel. You caught them out at the Abbey.
Yeah.
What was your first thought? Like, did you intuitively feel like something more than platonic was happening?
Honestly, I just found it really inappropriate. And so I don't know if I immediately went there, but I was thinking, okay, this is weird. Tom's enjoying her company a little too much. Because also at the time, remember how Ariana would always be like, he's just never home. I want him to spend time with me. This was a Tuesday night. And I was like, where's Ariana? And he was like, at home. And I'm like, why aren't you at home? Like he's choosing to be there with her. And so that is what spoke volumes. I was like, oh, he doesn't want to be at home with her. That's not good.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking. And then I just thought it was like a little weird.
Yeah. And then it's like they profusely denied anything was going on. Did you still think there was something, or when they denied it so much, did that feeling kind of subside?
Yeah, it did subside. Honestly, talking to you and James, because you guys were both so like, absolutely
that would
not.
Never happen.
Yeah, James was even like, that's insane. No, like Tom would never do that.
It was like I was gaslighting you and didn't even know it. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. I felt bad. I was like, oh my God, I'm like accusing their friends of like, but honestly, I don't know these people. So I was like, whatever. Like, I guess that's just normal. But, you know, like, nobody was right. Nobody was wrong. Like they should. Yeah, it was just a weird situation.
It really was.
Yeah.
Okay, backtracking a bit more. I feel like people have mixed impressions on how you and James met. You were a fan, yada, yada, whatever. So how did you guys first meet? And when you met him, did you know who he was?
I did know who he was.
And that made you still want to date him?
Right. I know that's the big question, right? I think Andy Cohen asked me that once and I was like, oh my gosh. I like always have to defend it. And I'm like, okay, thanks for asking this because it's actually a really crazy, cute story. And I don't know, whatever. It doesn't matter what people say. But so the night that I met James, Zach Zachary Reality,
Mhm.
who you know.
Mhm.
He was actually invited by Tom Sandoval's manager. I don't know if that was Jason or not, but Zach literally still has the text. Like, I can show them. And he was invited to come to take TikToks and to film content backstage for Tom Sandoval's band. And a few months before the actual date, you know, he invited me and a big group of our friends, and we all said yes because it was, sure, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
And a month from now. Okay, well, come that day, and it's the night after my birthday party. And this is like one of the hangovers where it's like, you are not getting out of bed. Like it was bad. And I canceled. And I was like, Zach, I'm sorry, I can't go tonight. And he freaked out because everyone kind of canceled. One other friend of ours, my best friend from college, was also still going to go. But basically he was like, you guys can't leave me. He was like, no, this isn't cool. I'm making you come. Like, come on. He literally shows up at my apartment. He's like, we're going. I think I drank like a Bud Light or something to like get myself
Hair of the
like
dog.
hair of the dog. I threw my hair in a bun. I don't even like, I was just like, okay, it was far. It was all the way in.
I know.
Whatever. So we're like driving there. I'm just kind of like, this sucks. And so then anyway, I'm telling the story so in detail. But
I love it.
It is interesting because that's
Yeah.
why last season I said my friend dragged me
Mhm.
and people were like, what? Like, no, like he kind of literally dragged me. And I'm
Yeah.
so grateful now looking back. Like, that's so wild just how I almost didn't go.
Right.
But I did. And that's
Mhm.
what I think is cool about the story. But then we get there. He goes backstage. We're like not going with him. We're like sitting down and he was nervous. He's like, come with me. So we go with him. Anyway, the first person we see when we walk in is James. And he comes like right up to us. He's like, hey. And you know, Zach, like he just starts talking to him. I'm just kind of standing there. And they start like doing TikToks together. And then he like, you know, we introduce and he gets my Instagram, not my friend's Instagram. So I was like, okay, like he's flirting with me. And he was very charming, very cute. And I was like, for the first couple seconds, I was like, oh, wait, he has a girlfriend or like a fiance. And then I remember they broke up. And I was like, okay. And honestly, like it was, you know, when you just meet someone and you're like, I love their energy.
Mhm.
You're so cute. You're so funny. Yeah, I really just like, it was a crush like immediately.
Yeah.
And then I didn't think anything of it. And then the next day he texted me and then, yeah, we've
Here you
texted
are.
every day since. So that's the story. You could ask James too.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, it was just such a fun night that almost didn't happen. And
Mhm.
so thank you, Zach.
Yeah. Did you know how recent his breakup was? Like, did that give you any concern? 'Cause you're
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
bro, it's only been a few weeks. I think it was, 5 weeks maybe?
Yeah, I don't remember the timeline, but it was longer than what she loves to keep saying it was.
Yeah.
I think it was longer than that. I think it was 5 weeks or so. And yeah, at first it worried me a lot, but we were taking things slow at the
Mhm.
beginning. Like we were just hanging out. And I also made it very clear that I just wanted to be friends because I wasn't ready for a relationship either. And we both were like on the same page with that. And then
Mhm.
honestly, things just escalated so quickly and feelings happen. You know, like when it happens,
Yeah.
there really aren't rules. Like
Totally.
it just happened and we fell in love.
yeah.
Sorry about it.
I love that. Nothing to be sorry for.
Thank you.
What would you say has been the biggest challenge for you entering this VPR Bravo world and coming in as James's girlfriend?
Ooh, yeah, I think last year was a lot harder than this year. And honestly, just because I am kind of a shy, like quieter person that doesn't necessarily love drama. And so I was really nervous to go into last year. I thought it would definitely be like, you know, Raquel and all the girls like against me.
Mhm.
And so that worried me. And then social media was probably the other thing, you know, that I struggled with at the beginning just because I never really posted or like used it. I was on private and I don't know. That was just uncomfortable. But now I like love social media.
Yeah.
And so I've leaned into it and I'm like, wait, this is so fun. Why was I such a hater for so long? Because
Yeah.
I enjoy it now. But
Yeah, but it
That
does
was
take
hard.
some getting used
Totally.
to, for sure. I mean, you were private for so long, and
Yeah.
then the day you went off
Yeah.
private, it was like,
I
boom,
felt so
100,000
seen.
something.
Yeah,
It's
it
like-
was crazy. James actually, like, the moment the first episode aired, he was like, give me your phone. And I was like, no, it's not time.
No,
He's like,
no.
it's time. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, let's do
I
it.
consent.
With Raquel being so, you know, in the center of the friend group at the time, were you skeptical about getting close with her, myself, Ariana? How did you feel in that sense?
I think that last year I was just so like wanting everyone to know, like, I come in peace. I'm sorry I'm here. Like, I didn't want anyone to get the wrong idea. And so I think looking back at it, I definitely think I was a little maybe too accepting and friendly, and like could have had a little more boundaries with just like the ex and like, you know, creating space a bit. But no, I'm so glad that like I got to know you and Ariana and Lala and Katie as well. So no regrets. I'm glad that like, yeah, we are where we are now, and that's great. But yeah, I think I was a little like too, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
But also when you're coming into this group, it is a very intimidating group. It's a group who doesn't always, you know, just openly accept new people. It's like, what's your motive? You know, we've been doing this for so long. So it's like, who is this?
Yeah, and I see that now, just with certain things and people. I'm like, oh, I get it. Like,
yeah, now that the Toms are single, you know, it's like these girls that they're bringing to the premiere party, or I see them with at the bar, and I'm like, who is that?
Yeah. And I get it. Yeah.
Who do you feel you're closest with out of our group of friends?
I would say you. Because we actually like hang out the most outside of filming. You and Courtney. And then
I know, I love that you and my sister are friends.
I know, me too. We're like, I love when we all get to hang out. And then I would say, you know, equal with the other girls too.
Yeah.
Like, it's always nice to see them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I said, I just want to reiterate, because literally you have just been the best addition to this friend group. Like, you bring the best energy.
Aw,
There's
thank you, Scheana.
never a time where if I'm in a bad mood and I'm around you, like that's going to change my mood. So,
That's so
just know that
sweet.
you have that
Thank
effect on
you.
people.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's so kind.
Of course. Okay, one more quick little break, and then I want to talk about Hippie and some
Yeah.
rumors that
Okay.
have been out there. Be right back.
Okay, so as we know, I just got back from New York, and I have to tell you one thing that I always pack with me when I travel, because I have to make sure to stay hydrated if I'm not going to be getting that much sleep. And when I have these quick press trips to New York, Liquid IV must be in my bag, in my purse, on the airplane with me, in my hotel room, because staying hydrated is very important on these type of trips. And Liquid IV has 3 times the electrolytes of any leading sports drinks, plus 8 vitamins and nutrients. Just 1 stick of Liquid IV and 16 ounces of water hydrates you better than water alone. As soon as I get on the airplane, I get a bottle of water and I put a pack of Liquid IV in it, and I just know it's going to be the best start to my trip. There's no artificial sweeteners. It's all non-GMO, free from gluten, dairy, soy, and also, one thing is, before a workout, you can use this daily if you're feeling run down after a long night out. I'm telling you, Liquid IV keeps me going. Basically, when I have Liquid IV, it helps me feel revived and ready to take on the next week or weekend, like Vegas this weekend for Super Bowl. Trust me, Liquid IV will be with me. They have so many new flavors. We've got white peach, strawberry lemonade. I mean, to have strawberry lemonade flavored water and not the sugar or anything else, so good. Plus, the easy, convenient on-the-go packaging makes it just that easy for every day to stay hydrated. Weekends are for going wild. Have a game plan for Monday with Liquid IV. Grab your Liquid IV hydration multiplier, sugar-free in bulk, nationwide at Costco, or get 20% off your first order when you go to liquidiv.com and use code HONEY at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Superior Hydration today using promo code HONEY at liquidiv.com. Okay, this is something that I have shown you on my YouTube, my Instagram, and spoke about on this podcast because it is something Summer and I love to do together. And I'm talking to you about KiwiCo. They deliver seriously fun learning for kids of all ages with all of these different hands-on projects, just little creative activities that for someone like me, who's not the most creative person, it makes it fun and easy. And I love when I have something also educational to do with my daughter. Each month, kids receive crates packed with engaging hand-on activities designed to introduce them to exciting science, technology, different art concepts, and there's always something new for kids to discover. Like engineering robots even, or learning about the science of ice cream. Depending on which age your kid is, they have a different crate box for all. They have 9 monthly programs to choose from. And like I said, KiwiCo has something for kids of all ages, ranging from infants and preschoolers to teens and beyond. I remember the first KiwiCo crate that we got, it was a koala crate, and it had this cute little pillow that we made. And since then, we have gotten so many new little projects that I just have all around the house because Summer absolutely loves doing them. Sometimes it can be hard to find creative ways to keep your child engaged, challenged, off the screen. You know what I'm talking about? So with KiwiCo, they do the legwork for you. So you can spend quality time tackling projects together and staying away from the screens. And let me tell you, the best part is when I watch Summer just find that creative confidence and just grow as she's tackling different challenges and figuring things out on her own. It's like every day she surprises me with something new. And thanks to KiwiCo, they've helped her discover new things to do and create. So redefine learning with play. Explore projects that build confidence and problem-solving skills with KiwiCo. Get 50% off your first month on any crate line at KiwiCo.com with promo code HONEY. That's 50% off your first month at KiwiCo.com, promo code HONEY.
Okay, I have to say, one of my favorite things in the season premiere was the montage of the planes flying overhead. Like, they do things that are a little shady. They did this to me when we got engaged on my balcony and like cars are honking and whatnot, but it does, add entertainment.
Yeah.
But have you adjusted to the noise? Were you aware that you were under a flight path before you guys moved in?
Yeah, we were aware. It was one of James's cons in the house. And I was like, what are you talking about? This is such a pro. You are literally at the airport.
You're so close.
All the time.
Right?
We're so close. I also grew up next to an airport. So I'm actually used to the sound and I like sounds.
Yeah.
I like feeling like we're in Burbank. It's so quiet. I'm like, totally. I like feeling like there's noise. I like the city. So I'm fine with it. And James is getting used to it.
Good.
Yeah. He's
do
okay
you ever, when we're not filming, just at home, when you hear a plane, do you ever naturally just pause your conversation?
Yes. I do that all the time. It's so funny because with filming, and that's why I thought it was funny too, that obviously they would have noticed that more than we would have because they have to be like, stop speaking.
Hold for plane.
Yeah.
Hold for
plane.
ambulance. Yeah. Hold for siren. Hold for, I'm like, I notice that sometimes I'm just out at lunch and I'm like, oh wait, you're not filming. You're not wearing a microphone. Yeah. It's okay. You can keep talking over the plane. Speaking of the house, how involved were you in the house decision and who has done more in making this house a home?
So I was very involved. I actually found the house on Zillow.
Mm-hmm.
We were looking at a few houses. Obviously, this is James's house. I'm not, it's completely his own. I do not own it, but I was a part of the process and I would go to Harry, his brother, actually was our realtor. So I
didn't know that. That's so cute.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yes. And so he took us around to all these different houses and we started making pros and cons, what do we want? And they were all, every house we saw, they were great, but they all needed work, as in renovations, the kitchen or the bathroom. And I was just but James really loved some of them. And I was like, we don't have time. We're so busy. You're never home. And I was just up at night. I was like, I'm going to check Zillow one more time. And this house that we're in now just came available. It was so weird how it happened.
Yeah.
And also the number of the address, which I'm not going to say, is a number that, it's not an angel number, but it's a number that I love. It has meaning to me.
Yeah.
And James and I are big like that.
Meant
there has to be a good number. Anyway, so
Totally.
we found it. It didn't need any work except the backyard, which was fine and easy. And James wanted to redo a backyard anyway. That's the house. And I've really enjoyed decorating it. I love decorating. It's just really therapeutic to me and organizing.
Your fridge? Oh my gosh. My mom saw it the other day and she's like, I didn't realize that, she thought she was watching an ad. It was so amazing.
Funny.
And I was like, I just watched that too.
That's
it made me want to
funny.
organize my fridge.
James's mom said the same thing. She was like, I started organizing my fridge because of something I saw. And then I saw it again and I realized it was you. I was like, that's so funny.
Yeah.
I'm kind of weird like that. But
yeah, no, I am
it.
too. But then you throw a toddler in it and
Right.
Yeah,
I know people
factor
were
meals
commenting
everywhere.
Yeah.
Like,
people were commenting like, this is unrealistic. And I'm like, yeah, of course. And like, does it stay like that for long? No,
but
it
it's nice
resets
when
and-
it does. And you
Yes.
can post it and
Yeah.
you're like, here's my fridge for now.
Totally. And when James is gone and we don't have children,
Yeah.
you know, and it's just me, I literally just eat factor
Totally.
meals. So like, there's
Yeah.
not that much in the fridge.
Yeah. I mean, they're the best.
Yeah,
Between
they are.
the wellness shots, the smoothies,
Seriously,
the
so good.
meals, I'm
I
like,
know.
good to go.
I know.
Yeah. Code good as gold 50 for that. Have you guys been assembling any more furniture? Do you call a TaskRabbit now?
We did call TaskRabbit after production left, not
Yeah.
gonna lie. And then, yeah, nothing else that we're building. No, TaskRabbit's just so easy.
So easy.
It's like
I know.
Uber
I've done
Eats,
it too.
like once you start it, you're like, why would I ever
Mhm.
build something
I know,
so
right?
bad? Yeah.
So I know we haven't seen this on the show yet, but you have welcomed a new addition into the home recently.
Yes.
So what did that conversation look like with taking Hippie in? And did you have concerns in the beginning due to his past, aggressive behaviors and whatnot?
Yes. I mean, yeah, a lot of this will probably be in the upcoming episodes, but yeah, I was really nervous because just the cats.
Mhm.
And I know that you yourself, like, it's funny, like when I think back to that time, I call him Graham
Mm-hmm.
because
then he was Graham.
then he was Graham.
I know.
So I say his name like by the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
So Graham, yeah, like you had told me too, like you didn't trust him around your cats and things like that. And so I was really nervous. I love my cats a lot. And I was like, I would love to take this dog in, but also like we were so good.
Yeah.
Like everything was so good. And so at the beginning, I wasn't like thrilled, but now I'm like, thank you, universe, blessings, kisses. Like I'm obsessed with that dog. I love that dog. And he gets along with the cats. He's not eating their heads off.
that.
He hasn't bitten, just so everyone knows.
I was gonna
seriously
ask,
a sweetheart.
That's amazing.
Yeah. We did a lot of training in the beginning, and now I can happily say like we don't necessarily need it that much.
Mhm.
And I think that he just has stability and rules,
Mhm.
and he's a good little boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love him.
I love that because I mean, I remember how hesitant you were, and
Yeah.
as a fellow cat owner, but also when Summer was a baby and Raquel was
Yeah.
living in our apartment, I couldn't have her at the house because I'm like,
Yeah.
you bet my sister, I don't trust you.
Yeah. for
And
sure.
then when Graham came back into the picture, I was like, this is a different dog.
Yeah, I remember you literally like, and I
Someone
believed you for a
spray painted
minute.
a white spot on
Yeah,
that dog.
yeah.
The first bath you
Yeah.
give him, it's like from Meet the Fockers and Meet
Yeah,
the Parents or whatever. I was like, this is not the same
No,
dog.
and you like scared me because I was like, oh my God, what if it is?
Conspiracy
Like
theory.
they switch the dogs out.
Yeah.
Because you were like, I remember you were like, I used to never want to
No,
like
he
touch
scared
him. And you
me.
were like cuddling him and like he was
Yeah.
on the bed with you. And I
He's
was
so
like,
sweet.
That's a good sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love Hippie.
I know, me too.
I saw on, not I saw because I have only seen little TikToks and things. I've read recaps
Right.
and whatnot, but I know
Yeah.
Raquel has expressed concern over James handling Graham, now Hippie, due to
Yeah.
past incidents where she felt like he wasn't a good dog parent, suggesting that there were even moments of cruelty.
Mm-hmm.
Have you noticed that with either of the pets in your home?
Absolutely not. No,
Yeah.
No. James is like meant to be a parent. Like
Mhm.
he's so attentive. He's so sweet. He's obsessed with Hippie. I'm like, if anything, like we smother him too much. Like that
Mhm.
could be a problem maybe. I don't know. Do we love him too much? But honestly, in my experience and from what I've witnessed, he loves that dog more than anything.
Yeah.
And I honestly would trust no one more than James
Yeah.
with that dog and myself. But-
Is there any message you would want to relay to Raquel so that she, just has like some solace in knowing that Graham and Hippie
Yeah.
is doing well?
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah,
can't
thank
imagine,
you.
now that we know the full story and what happened, I can't
Yeah.
imagine how hard that was for her. Because I know she did love
Yeah.
this dog. And then
Oh,
all of
yeah,
a sudden,
of
you
course.
get out of this facility. Now you don't have your dog. You
Yeah.
don't have any of your friends. Like,
yeah,
I can't imagine how hard
Yeah.
that all was.
No, that also like when Graham first came into our lives, like that was my thing is I was like, I didn't think Raquel knew because we didn't know
Mhm.
anything. But then when Lisa told me the story, I was like, oh, okay. But at first I was like, oh my God, like, should I text and call Raquel and tell her like, we have her dog? And I was like, James, don't get too attached because she's going to like come
Mhm.
back and want her dog. So I think as the situation started to click and it made more sense, like then it was easier for me to get attached. But at first, it just did not make any sense to me. And I felt awful for her. I was like, oh, I could not imagine having someone else take Hippie now or take my cats. Like, in what world? Like, that's not happening.
Yeah.
So I did feel really bad. And I guess if I did have a message, it would just to be, he's good, he's well, and we love him so much, and he'll always be taken care of.
Good. I love that. On the topic of her, she also recently stated on her podcast that you remind her a lot of herself.
Oh.
She said that you're both very patient and that there's motive in like you wanting to help James. She said that also she doesn't think you and James have a healthy relationship, that any relationship with James isn't healthy. Do you see where she might be coming from here and noting the similarities? First question.
Oh, gosh. Oh, my. I mean, I guess patience, that's a pretty common trait that I think you have as well. So I think that that's a trait. Yeah, sure. I definitely think it takes patience to just even be with someone like James who has just a lot of energy. And we're all a work in progress. And as long as we're just trying to be better people every single day, like that's all we can ask for. James is a great guy and he's working on himself and I'm proud of him. And he's helped me just as much as I think I've helped him. So that's what I'll say to that.
Second part to the question is, what do you think is different in your relationship with James from other relationships of his that have been also documented on the show?
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I don't like to look back, but I mean, if I look back at my own relationships in the past, you know, like we're all growing. Yeah. We're all learning. We make mistakes. We learn from them. And you know, so in a weird way, like I'll always be grateful for like his exes because, you know, that was the path that he needed to be on. And yeah, I think that they were both really young when they met. I'm sure that's part of it. And I don't know.
Yeah.
But.
So aside from questions about your astrology, people obviously wanted to know how they can get a reading from you. So we can put that in the episode description and all of that.
Okay,
but
great.
The top question that came in for you was wanting to address some rumors that have been swirling around on social media. And I know we spoke about this before if you wanted to talk about it.
Yeah.
But on a recent episode of Two Teas in a Pod, Teddy Mellencamp had revealed that she and Tamara shared a car with you guys following the MTV Awards. I think it was maybe like 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
And she said that they were headed to an after party at Tom Tom. And during that car ride, there was an altercation between two people in the car, which made her and Teddy have to get out of the car, separate the two individuals in the car, and further suggested that James was involved. And now there's rumors flying around that Teddy might be hinting at an altercation between you and James.
Right.
So,
okay, yeah.
Do you recall that incident that she's describing, and do you feel that she has described this accurately? Like, I want to get your side because you were obviously also in the car.
Especially, like, that's crazy to me that that's the most asked question. Like, that makes me really sad.
Yeah.
Because no, I'm good. That never happened. There was no physical altercation. Yes, we were in the car together. I thought we were having fun. We were having fun. But then James and I did get into an argument, but there was no physical assault. I was not bleeding, and they didn't have to get out of the car and separate us. So that didn't happen. That's all I'll say on that. But and I guess for the record, James has never physically hurt me or assaulted me. And we're good. We're happy. He's working on himself. I know in the past that he has anger issues. So I get it. But I just want people to know that I'm good and I'm safe and I love him. And
was that during a time when he was still drinking?
Yeah, he was still drinking. Yeah. We were all drunk in the back of that car. Yeah, that's true. But nothing happened like physically. I mean, we went to Tom Tom. Were you there that night?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, we showed up at Tom Tom and we had fun. It was like a good night.
Was that one of the reasons that made him stop drinking? Just having those type of moments and seeing that he's obviously not the best version of himself when he's drunk?
Yeah, I think that was still so in the beginning that I didn't I don't think that was like the moment or like the night when we were like, okay, drinking is not great. But yeah, like similar, just like we would fight when we would drink. Me too. I mean, I would drink and pick up, like it's just when you drink that much and in those environments, not great.
Yeah.
Like that's not who we really are. And so, yeah, like that's an example though of just why he shouldn't drink.
Right.
But yeah.
Obviously, with, Teddy and Tamara saying one thing on their podcast, Raquel has alluded to certain things, Kristen has alluded to certain things. So obviously people care about you.
I know.
If there was a concern for your safety, people are going to care and reach out and want to know how you're doing. So I just wanted to give you a safe space to.
Yeah, no, thank you. Because I didn't know. I'm like, do I like go on my Instagram and be like, I'm good, guys? Like, I don't know how to like navigate these types of things. And this is something that's very serious. And I do appreciate everyone worried about me, but I do want everyone to know I'm good.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on to a little lighter of a note to wrap things up. A musical note, you can say, because you have such a beautiful voice. I saw Vanderpump Rules Party, I think yesterday or the day before, I posted a video of you singing. And
the Bob Marley one?
Yeah.
That song. Aw.
Incredible. But what are your plans to maybe make some use of, your in-home studio?
Yeah.
Is there going to be music coming out soon?
Yes, there is going to be music coming out soon. This year I started singing again, which has been really fun. I always did it as a hobby, but we have a friend who, has a studio and he's an amazing guy. And so we've just been like making music together. It's like the three of us, me, James, and Jordan. And it's been so fun. It feels so good. And I just didn't, there's no pressure on it. I'm not trying to have this career in singing. I'm very happy with astrology, but it just you don't have to take it that it's fun.
No, it's fun.
Something
it
that
can
we
be a
enjoy
hobby.
doing. Yeah,
totally.
Yeah.
Well, you have such a beautiful voice,
Thank
so I
you,
definitely
Scheana.
think
You too. We have to do a
duet.
I know.
I'm so down. Let's do it. Okay, speaking back to astrology, if you could do a reading for anyone in the Bravo world, is there one person who comes to mind?
Ooh. Honestly, Lisa's, which that's cool because that one's probably likely. I could probably land that one. Yeah, Lisa, because she's I would just love to see her chart in terms of business and how she's just such a businesswoman. She's awesome. Or Andy Cohen's would be cool. I think he's got some Gemini, which totally makes sense with the entertainment journalist in him. Yeah.
Totally. I love that.
What about you?
Ooh.
I know. Whose chart do we need to see?
Right? I feel like Andy would be a good
Andy
one.
would be cool.
Totally.
Yeah.
He's such a fun, light-spirited, hearted person.
Yeah.
I love his energy.
Me too.
Yeah. Always a good time.
You got that Gemini rising too. That's why you guys. Yeah.
It's true.
Lighthearted and fun.
Generally speaking, what is in the stars for 2024? Will it be a good year, a bad year, a year of growth? Any insight you can leave the listeners with?
Okay. Definitely a good year, compared to the last few that we've had. We're still kind of shifting out of the pandemic, and a good year, but a lot of quick growth and transformations and evolving. So, with change that can be scary, but if we accept the lessons and learn and grow, then we'll be good. There's just a lot of Pluto went into Aquarius, and that's a really big deal astrologically because that hasn't happened since the birth of our country.
Wow.
So big transformations and a lot of power to the people and things like that. So that's exciting. And then Jupiter is going into Gemini.
So that's what I heard. Was it in Taurus, but now it's going in Gemini?
Yes. So it's in Taurus right now, and it's going to be there until May, the end of May.
Love that.
You're going to have a great, seriously, because it's also hanging out on your sun right now. So it's already Jupiter expands things. And so it's expanding your sun and it's expanding your opportunities. But then when it goes into the first house, it's you're going to be next level. A lot of opportunities, lots of travel. You're going to be busy. What's new?
Yes.
That's not stopping anytime soon.
Right.
But yeah, new beginnings, a new chapter. It's you're starting this whole new cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love that.
Excited for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for getting into some shenanigans with me. Tell everyone where they can get a reading with you, please.
Oh, okay. So you can, it's my website, which is www.allylewber.com. And I am going to start posting reading availabilities, hopefully every last Sunday of the month going into the next month, if that makes sense. So I'm going to like fresh out my readings and have availability every month.
Awesome. And I will
It's
link
hard.
your
It's been hard
website
to
and
like,
everything too.
I'm grateful because I'm getting booked, which is amazing. But it's hard and it's a lot of energy. Like I can only do so many a day. And so I'm trying to figure that all out, but stay tuned.
I love it. Keep it
Thanks,
busy.
guys. Thanks, guys.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for listening and watching. Definitely hit up my girl, get a reading. I will link it in the show notes and on this video if you're watching. But yay.
That was fun.
Let's have a good 2024.
Let's go.
I've been searching for this all my life.